Of all the ways that we move around the planet, none is more interesting than the train. Trains have their own language, special routes crossing continents that no other vehicle can use. Heck, they even have devoted followers who spend their free time building tiny worlds, all centered around trains. Especially in America, we love trains. And that's why I took a field trip to the Colorado Railroad Museum to learn more about these giant iron horses. In our earlier virtual field trip video, we talked about a lot of the cars and engines that the Colorado Railroad Museum has in its outdoor yards. Today, we're going to talk about some of the fun stuff they have inside and learn a little bit more about trains that way. One of my favorite parts of the museum is this model train set. There are models throughout the museum, but this one tucked in a corner of the basement is the star. It is so large and so intricate, it takes up an entire room. This thing is amazing! If you have a quarter, you can start the train up and watch as it moves around the display, weaving in and out of tunnels and through the town. If you have another quarter, you can turn on the fair. The fair has another little model train that wraps around it, plus the midway music plays and the carousel and Ferris wheels spin. Can you believe all of this was put together one piece at a time? The detail is amazing. Look below the bridge. Do you see the swimmers and divers? And look at the mountains beyond. All of that was put together just for this little train. There are customers doing their shopping along the boardwalks, a construction site, and a skating rink. You could spend hours in here just watching the train and taking in all the details. But if you did stay in the model train room all day, you'd miss the big train stuff upstairs. We're going to visit the exhibits that tell us how trains stayed safe in times past and how they stay safe today. Speaking of times past, it wasn't so long ago that telegraphs were the quickest, most effective way to get a message across the country. And telegraphs and railroads go hand in hand. Often, telegraph lines were run next to railroads because it was easier to install those telegraph poles in the already cleared space. Plus, sometimes the poles were brought by rail. It just made sense that the two would go hand in hand. Do you know that telegraphs used their own special language to move messages around the world? The language was called Morse code. We still use it today. It's a series of long and short clicks, flashes, or sounds that are put together in a special way to create letters and words. Here, listen to what an old-fashioned telegraph sounds like. Morse code wasn't only used with telegraphs. It was also used with lamps and lanterns, making it a code you could see as well as hear. Engineers and workers at stations along the route would use lights of different colors to communicate with each other from afar. The lanterns were used to send important messages like stop, go, back up, and even, holy heck, you've disconnected a car. Imagine saying all that just by swinging a lantern. And the colors of the lights can mean different things too. They can mean stop, go ahead slowly, hey, there are people working in this area, keep an eye out, and a bunch more. All these messages were sent just by flag or lantern. In fact, did you know that the traffic lights we use today are really just railroad lights adapted to a different purpose? Same for traffic signs. The railroad was using signs posted next to the rails long before cars came along. What are some other things on cars that might have been on trains first? What about horns? Trains used horns or bells to shout out, hey, watch out, I'm coming through, a heck of a long time before they were added to cars. Think about a time you heard a train whistle. What did it mean to you? Hopefully it meant, be careful and stay away from the tracks. A train is on the way. Like lamps and lanterns, train whistles can be used to send messages from far away. In fact, I did a whole video talking about how train whistles carry sound long distance. They use those whistles not just as a warning, but also to talk to other trains on the track or to train stations. The whistles can say things like, stop right now, I'm pulling into the station. I'm putting her in reverse. Or, yep, I heard ya. And they can say a whole lot more. Can you say all that with a whistle? What fun and amazing machines trains are. Old-fashioned and yet still useful today. Toys and tools both. If you want to watch more train videos, check out the entire Trains playlist and definitely make sure to watch the first part of our virtual field trip. Subscribe to catch our next field trip, and happy trails to ya!